Painful.
Trying to record it, it shows that this is not a pure record. This is, and like I said, that anyone will see that they be able to tell that this one has, you can see the laptop, it was showing that this is a particular laptop, and I'm just explaining this particular.
That's the point I'm trying to asking you was, were these colored patches, were they part of the original drone video?
What you can see is a laptop. If my laptop is just...
I know that. Let's save time.
She's trying to explain this now.
But she has not answered.
I have answered
she has
you.
been told repeatedly, answer the question, then explain. My question is tied to the coloring on the patches, the colored patches on the video.
I said she's trying to explain.
But she has to answer.
Yes.
What she's doing.
I said,
Okay, say it
there is
again.
no coloring on this video.
Yes.
All you can see is a laptop video. This is a laptop. You can see.
Yes, ma'am.
You still have to prepare more chat for this.
Definitely. But I've done more than halfway.
They still have to. The
They
other,
took the allocation, so we
the
have to
other
explain.
matters for the day, I think we must adjourn at this point.
They have to borrow as well. I know that.
If my Lord the Lord was threatening and managed to have to start sitting because she wasn't there, didn't get her phone. Immediately came in, she notified me of a family emergency, which would mean that she will not be able to come tomorrow. So if we were done like that, I would be praying that the date for her to testify, the fixture for her to testify tomorrow, kindly vacated it is because it is something we cannot avert. I'm praying for the indulgence of this panel and the others.
Further hearing in this second investigation of 20th October 2020 is hereby adjourned to 3rd July 2021. This fixture overrides that date for 26th June 2021.
I'm very good.
Petition number LA SJ/JPI/40/2020. The family of late Salami Adekunle.
Well, I must say that we're calling this petition as done because of the state of health of the council. We don't want to overstretch you because we are yes.
I'm going to.
Petition 9.
Appearances. There's no council in the matter.
All respects to the Lord and the distinguished members of the panel. No sad word said in nothing. I'm here with me for the respondents are Joseph Elbo Sereno, Julio Odino, and Emmanuel Gil.
Another friend with me are Avery.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm on.
Mr. Awabu, the first witness, was someone that has been discussed to respondent. So that respondent witness number one. Whoever you're calling now will be the second.
As a panel witness. I'm grateful, sir.
Well, we were just looking into the possibility that it may not be going on or that the police would close their case, but since you're going on, we've been sitting for over 3 hours, we must have a separate.
As a panel witness.
When the panel comes back, I'm going to apply for change of menu. Not of rice. That's the case of beef too.
Actually talking about what happened at the toll gates. Everyone keeps digressing their way from the event. So we have shown already what happened that day. We showed videos of people laying lifeless on the floor. We showed giving the panel the names of people who we are aware that died that day. And so imagine the amount of people who we don't know about. There are still a lot of missing people, and their families are still asking where they are. So hopefully from this panel we can get to know where the bodies are, so that these families can at least get closure of any other thing, at least know where their sons or their daughters were kept, and have the ability to give them a befitting burial. We want to know who ordered the killings at the toll gate. So today was practically just cross-examination to ask about the videos, which I already presented. So just the questions as to the timings, as to the dates, as to the events and the activities of the Nigerian Army, especially the LCC, that's the people who put up the lights at the toll gate. So everyone really wants to know why they put up the lights, why they were involved, why practically they helped the government or even the government. So it's back and forth, and we hope from this panel that we can get the truth about the involvement of LCC, the truth about the involvement of social media, and also to get the information of where they kept the bodies after they shot and killed peaceful NSAS protesters.
So, what's the name? Your name?
Sarah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're live. So, sir, what can you say about the day 95 of the Judicial Panel, Lagos State, concerning the police brutality in Nigeria?
Well, the panel was constituted, if I get your question right, I'm talking about the Lagos State Judicial Panel.
Yes, Lagos State Judicial Panel, the open inquiry.
Inquiry, and then the nature of the inquiry into police brutality generally.
Exactly.
Okay. Naturally, the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry was constituted in the heat of the SARS uprising that engulfed Nigeria between 11th and 20th October 2020. And it was a response of government to the agitations for victims of SARS brutality and all those related cases. Then in Lagos, it took a different characterization in the sense that, of course, by 18th of October, the panel was constituted, But of course, a lot of youth representatives were not on that panel. Then, of course, the incident of 20th October now came into being. And that has been added, unlike many other states, the assignment of inquiry into the Lekki shooting incident of 20th of October 2020 has been added to the docket of the panel of inquiry in Lagos. And the whole world is watching that panel to know exactly what will be the outcome of the investigation to the Lekki shooting. You recollect that the U.S. mission in Nigeria issued a statement saying they are awaiting the report. The CNN documentary also said they are awaiting the report. I mean, a lot of working people and oppressed people across the world are watching events of this Lekki investigation closely. What is very important for us to stress at this point is that according to the National Economic Council, headed by Professor Yemi Osibajo, the Vice President of Nigeria, he said about 1.1 billion naira has been paid in terms of compensation to many victims of Lekki shooting. As we all know, Lagos State government earmarked 200 million, and in a way they have even extended the tenure of the panel from 6 months to 9 months. So basically, what some of us will be asking for in the circumstances is for the extension of the panel, of the tenure of the panel in Lagos, where of course we are providing legal representation to NSAS protesters. That is quite important now, because as of today, as we speak, the panel has a date of termination, which is 19th, I think sometimes in July, either 12th or 19th of July, and that I mean with the overwhelming caseload, that cannot be feasible. Then number two is that even on the long term, we will begin to see how these panels of inquiry become permanent panels of inquiry. What that means is that they have divisions. You look at where we are now, we are speaking live and direct from Lekki, arguably the upper echelon part of Lagos. Most victims of this police brutality are in the Lombe and proletarian part of Lagos, Agege, Mushin. They have to travel miles to come here and all that. We need a permanent panel of inquiry that will have divisions, possibly divisions in Ikeja, for instance, that will see some who can sit in Apapa, another who can sit in Ikorodu, and it's just to extend the tentacles of justice to as many victims of inquiry. We are just talking about SARS. If you want to open the firmament of inquiry into police brutality, in fact, we will not be able to count into the cases. They will be like the waters of the sea. But at least the state has to take responsibility. It has to start from somewhere.
So far it's 95 days today. So far, what do you think? Do you think any justice has been made so far?
Well, justice itself is subjective, because if you look at the focus of the panel is restitution for victims. What that means, restitution means that you have admitted guilt. That means Lagos State government, the convener of the panel, are not being a party to SARS brutality. You understand what that means? SARS itself is a federal government, is a arm of the Nigerian police, a federal government agency. But arising from the activities of SARS, a lot of agitation of citizens were carried out, and then they are trying to restitute to victims of police brutality. Of course, monies have been paid, but we cannot also say money is equal to justice, because that would mean that we are equating, for instance, loss of loved ones to money. So that is one aspect. Then two, I would not like to speak on the issue of the Lekki toll gate inquiry, which I may cancel in that matter, because of course ethically we lawyers are restrained to make comments on matters we are appearing in. But I want to put it succinctly that it is important that we begin to look at the long-term focus of how to engender justice. And all that means is that we need a more robust and comprehensive approach. I'll talk about permanent, making this kind of panel permanent. That means that, for instance, the 5 or maybe the 11 members, they have to get more members and then divide it, break it into as many places as possible where the people really are. This is more or less just a minimal concession. It's an attempt to just douse tension for now.
Okay, so on the final note, let's come to what brought us here at first place. police brutality. We can see that after the EndSARS protest that happened across various places in Nigeria, the police are still practicing this brutality.
Yes.
What can you say about it? Because I am a party to I am like a victim.
Just like saying a lion should not roar. As long as, for some of us who are even socialists, as long as capitalism is still intact, there will still be police brutality in the next, possibly as long as the system is still intact, in the next 10 years, this kind of panel will be constituted again, there will still be shootings, there will still be killings. Ultimately, what can be done to uproot and put a permanent end to police brutality is to put a permanent end to capitalism itself. All that means is that the struggle against police brutality today should be linked to economic struggles. As is the struggle against electricity tariff hike by July 1st now, electricity tariff hike could be in place against fuel price hike. The latest attempts by the Nigerian government to increase fuel price should be resisted. And ultimately, we must begin to position ourselves to take political power and dismantle this lopsided capitalist system, because without that, without bringing this system into a permanent revolutionary termination, it will continue to engender brutality, and it will continue to engender oppression, it will continue to engender repression. So ultimately, our goal should be a revolutionary transformation of this society, in which we take power from the band of marauders that are in power, and then through the organ of revolutionary government, we begin to dismantle the police repressive machinery. Of course, for some of us who are socialists, under a complete social revolution, there will not be need for the police. Because what that means is that you have a state that's not just a state manned by an army of bodies of men, but a state that is democratically controlled by the people themselves.
Yeah, thank you very much.